everybody, welcome to this week's class. To those of you who tuned in last week, I'm sorry about the sound quality. I think as much as it was lovely to be outside and it's very sunny, and I hope that some of you have been able to be outside a little bit while you're practicing, I think for sound quality it wasn't the best. So we're back in my makeshift kitchen yoga studio, and hopefully there is a little less distraction. Hopefully you can hear a little bit better today. So it's very warm today, so we'll have an unintentional warm or hot class, and yeah, I hope you're all well. I thought today we'd move a little bit more dynamically and focus a little bit into some deeper twists. So we're working again through a vinyasa sequence, and again following our breath. So just taking note of, as we've always been doing, what your breath is doing, working with your breath, so following each movement with the breath and just listening to your body as we move through some different sequences and tuning into what your body's doing and finding that space for yourself, and moving into a few deeper twists as well today. So when we're working on twists, we're really moving those muscles around our digestive system. So we're warming up the digestive system, we're keeping it firing and keeping everything moving. When we twist into postures, we sort of restrict the blood supply to that area for that time, and then when we untwist it, then it allows more fresh blood to surge into those areas. That's where twisting can be really effective for working into the digestive system. So any issues there, hopefully some twists will make that all work a little bit more freely. So wherever you are, find a nice quiet space if you can, whether you're inside, outside, doesn't matter how much space you have, and just take a moment, sit in a cross-legged position if that's comfortable, moving the flesh of the buttocks out to the side. If it's uncomfortable here, you can just take your legs out long in front of you. The hands can rest down in the lap or on the knees, and just take a moment, close down the eyes if that's comfortable, or keep the gaze just slightly forwards, and take a moment just to tune in to your breath and to your body. So allow the shoulders to roll down away from the ears, allow the back, the spine to be nice and straight. Imagining someone's pulling you up through the crown of the head, through a piece of string, drawing you up towards the sky, keeping the back, the neck and the spine nice and long. And just allow the breath to flow here. Breathing in and out through the nose. Taking note of how your body's feeling here. Allowing the focus to move into the body and detaching from what's happening on the outside world. For the next few moments, this is your time. Allowing the breath to be nice and slow, nice, long, smooth inhalations and exhalations. Readjusting as you need to keep the spine long, the back of the neck long. When you're ready, just blinking open the eyes. I'm going to start just with a gentle spinal twist. So taking the left hand to the right knee, and the right hand behind the right hip. We're going to inhale as we elongate the spine, and then exhale, turning round over that right shoulder. So dropping the shoulders away from the ears and taking the gaze beyond that right shoulder. Working to twist from the upper back more so than the head. So resisting the urge to look back, but instead turning the spine and twisting back. Inhaling, coming to the center, twisting to the left. So inhaling, elongating the spine. Exhaling, twisting over to the left. Inhaling, elongating the spine. Exhaling, twisting more. Inhaling, elongating. Exhaling, twisting. Inhaling, coming back to the center. We're going to roll over the knees. Coming onto our all fours and then taking the knees to the width of the mat. Taking our heels together, we're going to sit back into our extended child's pose. So we often start in this pose, just a really nice way to sink down and open along the back of the spine. So starting up on the fingertips, gazing forwards, and then inching the fingertips forwards, taking the head down to the mat, inching forwards. So coming down to this pose at any time if you need to take rest. Sinking down, so starting here, feeling the contact of the head to the mat, or maybe taking the head to a block or a stack of books or something just underneath the head, just to feel there's some contact between the head and the ground. Keeping it active, so inching the fingers forward, keeping the hips, sinking back to the heels. And then inhaling, coming up, back to your all fours. We're going to tuck the toes, sink the hips, coming up into our downward facing dog. So just pedaling out the legs, left and right, opening through the backs of the legs, keeping the fingertips spread nice and wide, middle fingers facing forwards. Good, so just pedaling out the legs here and then finding some stillness. Sinking the hips back, dropping the head down, chin looking, chin down to the chest, gaze towards the navel. And then slowly we're going to walk the feet up to the hands. Gazing forwards, fingertips can rest on the shins or resting on the floor. And then exhaling, folding forwards. Allowing the head to hang heavy over the legs. Legs can be straight or with a slight bend. We're going to inhale, raise up. Arms coming up above the head, gazing up, and then exhaling, drawing the hands down towards the chest. So we're going to start with our feet together, heels slightly apart. We're just going to raise the toes up and then plant the toes down one at a time, grounding down through the toes and lifting the heels, replanting the feet. We're going to inhale, raise the arms up above the sky. We're going to interlock the fingers, raise the hands up towards the sky, gazing up towards the hands, inhaling, reaching forward, dropping the shoulders away from the ears, reaching forwards, and then exhaling, we're going to sweep the hands forwards and down, folding forwards. So just again pedaling out the legs here if that feels good, dropping the chin down towards the chest, folding over the legs. We're going to inhale, raise up. Once again, this time we're going to hold the left wrist with the right hand, stretch up, and then exhale. We're going to fold over towards the right. So using the right hand to draw the left down towards the right side, taking the hips over to the left, knees are pulling up towards the thighs, legs are strong, starting to open down the left side of the body. Inhaling, coming forwards, back to center, swapping the grip. Exhaling, coming over towards the left, hips coming out to the right.
Both arms are straight, shoulders dropping away from the ears, gaze is forward between the arms, legs are strong. Inhaling, coming back towards the centre, gazing up towards the thumbs, exhaling, folding forwards, softening down through the back, folding forwards. You're going to inhale, raise up. Once again, arms coming up. You're going to interlace the fingers, reach the palms up to the sky. This time we're going to twist over to the right. So using the upper body, aiming to keep the hips and the legs together. Great, twisting just the upper body to the right. Gazing over to the right, inhaling, coming back to the centre. Exhaling, twisting round to the left. Keeping the arms straight, legs are together. Inhaling, coming back to the centre. Exhaling, folding forwards. Inhaling, coming all the way up. And bringing the hands down in front of the heart centre. We're going to take a few rounds of our sun salutations here just to warm the body up. Inhaling, arms coming up to the sky. Exhaling, folding forwards. Inhaling, fingertips on the ground, looking forward with a flat back. Bend the knees, plant the hands, stepping back to plank, dropping through our chaturanga. Inhaling, coming up into our upward facing dog, so thighs are lifted off the ground, rolling the shoulders away from the ears, pressing through the hands, gazing up to the sky. Exhaling, downward facing dog, holding here. Planting through the hands, spreading the feet, gazing down towards the navel for 1, 2, rolling the shoulders away from the ears, 3, 4, and 5. Looking forward between the hands, bending the knees, stepping or jumping to the front of the mat, fingertips on the ground, looking forward. Exhaling, folding forwards. Inhaling, raising the arms up above the head, gazing up. Exhaling, hands in front of the chest. Inhaling, arms coming up to the sky. Exhaling, folding forwards. Inhaling, fingertips on the ground, looking forward, bending the knees, plant the hands, stepping or jumping back to plank, dropping through chaturanga. Inhaling, upward facing dog, turning the toes, sinking the hips back to our downward facing dog. Now remembering from previous classes, if you want to come at that stage down to the knees, instead of bending at the elbows, I'll show you on the next round, just to take it a little bit more slowly. That's entirely up to you. So rolling the shoulders away from the ears, planting through the hands, a couple more breaths, and then looking forward, bending the knees, stepping or jumping to the front of the mat. Fingertips on the ground, looking forwards, exhaling, folding forwards. Inhaling, arms coming up above the head, exhaling, hands in front of the chest. Inhaling, arms coming up, exhaling, folding forwards. Inhaling, fingertips on the ground, looking forwards. Bend the knees, plant the hands. If from here you can jump or step back to plank. And as before, dropping through chaturanga, or if you prefer, dropping knees, chest, chin down to the ground and coming up to our baby cobra instead. Up to you. Tucking the chin, turning the toes, sinking the hips back into our downward facing dog. Remembering to rest down in child's pose at any time if you need to. Holding here for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Bending the knees, stepping or jumping to the front of the mat, fingertips on the ground, looking forward. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhaling, arms coming up above the head. Exhaling, hands in front of the chest. Okay, this time we'll take our sun salutation B. So bending the knees, inhaling, coming up through our chair pose. So bending the knees this time, drawing the arms up, gazing up towards the thumbs, sinking the hips down, tucking the tailbone under. Inhaling, exhaling, folding forwards. Inhaling, fingertips on the ground, looking forward. Bend the knees, plant the hands. Step or jump back. Again, option knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhaling, upward facing dog or baby cobra. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Turning the left toes in. Right foot forward. Inhaling. Arms coming up to our warrior one. So just checking in with your alignment. The right foot is facing forward, left foot is at 45 degrees. Hips are facing forward, gaze is up towards the thumbs. Exhaling, hands outside that front foot, stepping back to plank, dropping through chaturanga. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Right toes turn in, left foot steps forwards, arms coming up, warrior one. So arms are facing up, shoulders dropping away from the ears, left foot forwards, right foot 45 degrees, hips facing forwards. Exhale, folding forwards over that front foot, stepping back to plank, dropping through chaturanga. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. So here we'll hold for 5, 4, 3, slowing the breath down. 2, and 1. Bending the knees, stepping or jumping to the front of the mat, fingertips on the ground, looking forwards. Exhaling, folding forwards. Inhaling, bending the knees, arms coming up through chair. Exhaling, hands in front of the chest. Second round, bending the knees, inhaling, arms coming up through chair. Exhaling, folding forwards. Inhaling, fingertips on the ground, looking forwards, bending the knees, stepping or jumping back to plank. Inhaling, upward facing dog or baby cobra. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Left toes turn in, right foot steps forward, arms coming up, warrior one. Exhaling, hands coming down outside that front foot, stepping back to plank, dropping through chaturanga. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Right toes in, left foot forwards, arms coming up, warrior one. Exhaling, hands coming down, stepping back to plank, dropping through chaturanga. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Holding here. Remembering to drop your knees, coming down into child's pose at any time. So that's like this. Taking rest when you need to. Otherwise, holding here a couple more breaths. And then gazing forwards, bending the knees, stepping or jumping to the front of the mat, looking forward, flat back. Exhaling, folding forwards. Inhaling, arms coming up through chair. Exhaling, hands in front of the chest. Okay, final round, bending the knees. Inhaling, arms coming up. Exhaling, folding forwards. Inhaling, fingertips on the ground, looking forward. Plant the hands, bend the knees. Step or jump back to plank. Inhaling, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Left toes turn in, right foot steps forwards. Arms coming up, warrior one. Exhaling, hands coming down outside that front foot, dropping through chaturanga. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Right toes in, left foot forwards. Arms coming up, warrior one. Exhaling, hands coming down outside that front foot, dropping through chaturanga. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Final 5 counts. Hold it here. For 1, 2, slowing the breath down. 3, rolling the shoulders away from the ears. 4, keeping the knees pulling up the thighs. And 5, bending the knees, stepping or jumping to the front of the mat. Fingertips on the ground, looking forwards. Exhaling, folding forwards. Inhaling, arms coming up above the head. Exhaling, hands in front of the chest. Gosh, I'm warm already. Okay. Coming now into our triangle pose. So standing with the feet together, arms by the side, palms facing forwards. Stepping with the right to the back of the mat. Pivoting on the feet, turning the left toes in 45 degrees, the right foot facing forwards. We're going to take the arms out to the side, keeping both legs straight. We're going to gaze over that right hand, lean towards the right, and then dropping the right hand to the inside of the right leg, wherever it lands, whether that's to the inside of the thigh or to the inside of the calf. Either is fine. So taking the gaze up to the left thumb, holding here for 1, really opening out the chest to that left side, keeping the kneecaps pulling up to the thighs for 3, 4, and 5. Inhaling, coming up with the arms, pivoting on the feet, coming straight over onto that left side, dropping the left hand down, right arm facing up to the sky for 1, 2, 3. Both legs are really strong, keeping them straight. If you tend to hyperextend here, keep a slight bend in the knees. 4 and 5. Inhaling, coming up to the center, pivoting on the feet. Once again, we're going to replant that back foot. So we come into our twisted triangle. So hips now are facing the short edge of the mat with a slightly shorter stance between the legs. Taking the right hand to the base of the right hip, we're going to inhale, take the left arm up. Exhale, folding forwards, taking the left hand to the outside of the right foot. If it doesn't reach, you can come up onto the block so that the left hand has contact with something and just allows you not to crunch down in that side of the body. Dropping the right arm down to the ground and up to the sky, opening the body, twisting to the right, taking the gaze up to that right hand for 1, 2, 3. Kneecaps are pulling up to the thighs. 4 and 5. Inhaling, coming all the way up with the hands pivoting on the feet, replanting that back foot, coming straight onto the other side. Left hand to the base of the left hip, right arm up to the sky. Inhaling, exhaling, folding forwards. Right hand coming down outside that left foot. Keeping the left hand on the hip if it's helping with stability, or dropping the left hand down to the ground and then up to the sky. Twisting the chest open to the left for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Inhaling, coming back down, pivoting the feet once again, taking a slightly wider stance this time. So the hips again facing the long edge of the mat as we come into our extended side angle. So right foot facing forwards, left foot turned in 45 degrees. We're going to bend through that right leg this time. So we're coming to form a right angle in that right leg, just making sure the right knee doesn't overshoot that ankle. So if it does, just step it forwards slightly. We're going to take the right elbow onto the right knee. Inhaling, taking the left arm up and over. If it's comfortable here, you can drop that right hand to the inside of the right leg, taking the gaze underneath that left armpit, even taking a bind here if that's available, threading the right arm underneath the right thigh, the left hand behind and grabbing the hands behind you. For 3, 4, keeping that back leg strong, kneecap pulling up to the thigh, and 5, releasing the bind if you've bound, inhaling, coming all the way up, pivoting on the feet, coming straight in to your expression on the other side. Going for the bind if you went for it on the other side, or keeping the left arm, left elbow on the left knee. Keeping the back leg strong for 1, 2, opening the chest to the side, 3, keeping the gaze over towards the right shoulder, 4, and 5, releasing the bind if you have it. Inhaling, coming all the way up, pivoting on the feet once again. This time we're going to drop the left knee down to the ground. If it's painful on that left knee, you can take a cushion or fold the mat over that left knee. I'm going to come into our twisted side angle. So taking the left arm up to the sky, I'm going to take the left elbow over that right knee. I'm going to take the right hand, take the right hand on top of the left. So we're opening the chest to the right. If it's comfortable here, you can tuck that back toe and open the chest to the right, using the right hand pushing into the left to twist open the chest to the right, taking the gaze above that right elbow, keeping the left leg, if the knee's off the ground, keeping that leg really strong. Again, watching that front knee doesn't overshoot the ankle. For 3, 4, and 5. Inhaling, bending that left knee down, and then coming back up. We're going to replant that back foot down on the ground. I'm going to come into our forward fold, just stretching out that right front thigh by keeping a slightly shorter stance between the legs. Both legs now are straight. Inhaling, looking forward to the flat back, and then exhaling, folding forward over that right leg. Allowing the head to drop down, just opening up the front of that right leg. I'm going to inhale, coming all the way up. We're going to take the left foot to meet the right, coming to step back to the top of the mat. So taking that on the other side this time. So taking a step with your left foot to the back of the mat, pivoting on the feet, and then we're going to bend that left foot 45 degrees, and then drop the right knee down to the mat. On the other side again. Drop the right knee down to the mat, keeping the left knee bent. I'm going to take the right elbow over the left knee, taking the hands together in front of the chest, either staying here if that's enough for you, or tucking the right toes, coming up onto the right ball of the foot, keeping that right leg nice and straight, and then using that left hand into the right to open the chest to the left. Breathing here for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Inhaling. Coming back to the centre, we're going to drop that right foot down and then step up with that right foot. Coming into a straight-legged forward fold, so looking forward to the flat back, fingertips on the ground, and then exhaling, folding forwards. Coming over that front leg, both legs are strong. And then inhaling, coming up, arms above the head, exhaling, standing to the top of the mat. Okay, inhaling, we're going to take a step with our right foot to the back of the mat. Turning the toes so our feet are facing the long edge of the mat. Turning the toes, they're facing slightly inwards. We're going to inhale, take the arms out to the side, and then exhale, folding forwards. Taking the hands down towards the floor. Inhale, gazing forwards, flattening the back, and then exhale, folding forwards. Just starting in a wide-legged forward fold. Dropping the head down, the chin down towards the chest, back of the neck is long. Starting to bend through the elbows, taking the weight into the balls of the feet. And we're slowly going to walk the hands around to that right foot. Starting to twist here, so taking the left hand to the outside of the right ankle, right arm coming up to the sky. So twisting around, taking the gaze up towards that right thumb. Holding here for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Exhaling, coming down, swapping, taking the right hand to the outside of the left ankle. Inhaling, taking the left arm up to the sky, holding here for 1, 2, keeping the weight into the balls of the feet, not leaning back too much. 3, keeping the legs strong, active, kneecaps pulling up to the thighs. 4, opening the chest to the left. And 5, exhaling, coming back down, taking the hands either side of the ankles, gazing forwards, and then exhaling, folding forwards once again. Inhaling, coming back up, arms coming out to the side. Exhaling, hands on the hips, stepping off to the front of the mat. Okay, inhaling, taking the arms up to the sky. Exhaling, folding forwards. Inhaling, fingertips on the ground, looking forward. Exhaling, bend the knees, plant the hands, stepping or jumping back to plank. We're going to hold here in our plank. Stay with me. Pressing up through the palms, minimizing the space between the shoulders, keeping the body nice and level, gazing down between the hands. We're going to stay here for 1, 2, dropping down to the knees if you need to. 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to slowly lower down for a count of 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Turn the toes. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Coming down to child's pose if you need to take a rest. That's absolutely fine. We're going to bend the knees, stepping or jumping the feet to the hands. Inhale, arms coming up through our chair pose. We're going to tuck the tailbone, gazing up to the thumbs, dropping the shoulders away from the ears for 1, 2, sinking a little lower, 3, 4, left elbow to the outside of the right knee, coming in to a twist here. So keeping an eye on the knees. So just checking that the left knee tends to want to shoot forward. So just drawing the left knee back in line with the right, pressing the palms in towards each other, taking the gaze up over that right elbow, holding here for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Inhaling, coming up to the center, and then exhaling, taking the right elbow over the left knee, twisting over to the left, taking the gaze over that left elbow for 1, 2, checking in with the knees, 3, 4, and 5. Inhaling, coming up to the center, and exhaling, folding forwards. Inhaling, arms coming up above the head, exhaling, hands in front of the chest. Inhaling, arms coming up over the head, exhaling, folding forwards. Inhaling, fingertips on the ground, looking forward with a flat back, bending the knees, planting the hands, stepping or jumping back to plank. Dropping through knees, chest, chin or chaturanga. Inhaling, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhaling, downward facing dog. We're going to bend the knees, step or jump all the way through to seated. So we're going to come sitting in our forward, in our seated Dandasana. So taking the hands either side of the hips, and tuck the chin down in towards the chest, roll the shoulders away from the ears, legs are strong, toes are curling up towards you, holding here for 1, 2, slowing the breath down, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Inhaling, gazing beyond the toes. I'm going to inhale, take the thumbs, take the fingers around the big toe. If it's too much, you can keep the hands on the shins or take a belt around the feet. I'm going to inhale, gaze beyond the toes. Exhale, folding forwards, keeping looking at the toes, bending the elbows out to the sides, keeping the legs strong for 1, 2. Every inhale, elongating the spine. Every exhale, folding forwards. 3, 4, and 5. Inhaling, coming back to center. We're going to take the right sole of the foot into the left thigh this time. Inhale, elongating the spine. Exhaling, folding over that left leg. Inhaling, elongating the spine. Exhaling, folding for 1, 2, keeping the left leg really strong. 3, 4, and 5. Inhaling, coming up to center, swapping the legs, taking the left leg into the right thigh. Inhaling, elongating the spine. Exhaling, folding forwards for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Inhaling, coming back to the center, taking the left leg out in front of you. We're going to take the right foot this time and bending it to the side of the body. If it's not comfortable here, stay as you were before. So drawing the knees together, the sole of the foot's facing up to the sky. We're going to inhale, elongate the spine. Exhale, folding forwards. If If you feel like you're falling too far over to that left, you can always take a block or a pillow or something underneath that left sit bone just to give yourself a bit of height and a bit of stability on that side. 3, 4, and 5. Inhaling, coming up, releasing that foot round to the front, taking the left foot this time to the side, moving the flesh of the buttock on the right out to the side. If you're getting any pain in that knee, then stop. No pain in the knee is good pain, so just stop and come out and come into what's comfortable for you. Okay, inhaling, elongating the spine, exhaling, folding forwards for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Inhaling, coming up, taking that leg down in front of you, coming into our Marichasana A now. So taking the right foot, bending it close into the groin, keeping about a hand's distance between the right foot and the left thigh. I'm going to take the left hand behind the left hip, inhaling, coming up with the right hand, exhaling, folding forwards. So we're taking that right hand around the right shin. It might be enough to stay here, or if you have a belt or something, that can be useful. So you can take the belt around the back, and then with the left hand you can take hold of the right hand, inhaling, elongating the spine, and then exhaling, folding forwards. You can also just hold on to your clothing or a t-shirt or whatever, keeping the body folding forwards over that left leg for 3, 4, and 5. Inhaling, coming up, taking the right leg out in front, bending the left knee this time, right hand behind the right hip, inhaling, left arm coming up, exhaling, folding forwards initially, round that left shin, behind the back, right arm coming round the body, holding onto the left hand. Inhaling, looking forwards over that front foot, exhaling, folding forwards for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Inhaling, coming up, coming into our Marichasana C. So bending the right leg again, this time taking the right hand behind the body, left arm coming up to the sky, taking the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Might be enough to stay here, absolutely fine, keeping the chest nice and upright, keeping the hand close to the groin, close to the hips, so you're not leaning too far backwards, and gazing over that right shoulder. Otherwise, going for the bind, taking the left hand around that right knee, taking the right hand up to join the hands behind the back, keeping the gaze over that right shoulder. For 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Inhaling, coming up, bending the left knee in towards the body, taking the left hand behind the left hip, right arm coming up to the sky, right elbow coming to the outside of the left knee, opening the chest to the left, taking the right hand around that left knee, taking hold of the left hand with the right, keeping the spine nice and upright, exhaling, twisting round to the left for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Inhaling, to the center and come into our Navasana pose here. So keeping either the feet on the ground, the arms out to the side, keeping the spine nice and straight, or taking the knees up to 45 to 90 degrees, or taking the legs out in front of you for 1, 2, keeping the gaze beyond the toes, 3, 4, and 5, crossing the legs, rolling over the hands, stepping or jumping back to plank, dropping either knees, chest, chin, or through chaturanga, inhaling, upward facing dog or baby cobra, exhaling, downward facing dog, holding here, keeping strong. I'm going to take our feet slightly closer to the body. I'm going to take the right hand to the outside of the left ankle, taking the gaze underneath that left armpit, twisting the chest open to the left for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Planting the right hand down, taking the left hand to the right ankle, opening the chest to the right for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Coming back to our downward facing dog. We're going to bend the knees, step or jump all the way through to seated. Coming to lie down on our backs, taking the knees in towards the chest, rolling slightly from side to side. I'm going to slow things down a little bit from here. So coming into a few final twists and relaxation, just to slow things down a little bit. So from here, we're going to take the left leg out long in front of us. We're going to bend the right knee in towards the chest. We're going to take hold of the right big toe with the right index and middle finger. I'm going to straighten that right leg up to the sky. If it's too much to straighten it, then you can always take a belt or a scarf or something around that foot, or just keep a bend in the leg. And hold here for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, space permitting, we're going to take that right leg out to the side. Not quite enough. Just taking that right leg out to the side. Keeping the left hand on that left thigh. Keeping it pressing down for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Inhaling, coming back to the center, dropping that right leg down to meet the left. Readjusting yourself as you need. Taking the left leg this time, right hand pressing on the right thigh. Left leg up to the sky. Holding it here for 1. Dropping that left shoulder down to the mat. 2. Pressing the right hand into the right thigh. 3. Keeping the back of the head down on the mat. 4. And the right toes curling it towards you. And then taking the left foot out to the side. For 1, 2, slowing the breath down, 3, 4, and 5. Inhaling, coming up to the center, releasing that leg down to the right. You're going to bend the knees in towards the chest, drawing the knees together, close the chest once again. We're going to take our happy baby pose. So taking the hands inside the knees, taking hold of the outside blades of the feet, drawing the knees down either side of the groin and taking the feet towards you. So keeping the back of the head down on the mat, allowing the knees to draw down to the floor, allowing the mind to completely soften. Coming now towards the end of our practice. Slowing everything back down. Drawing the knees together, keeping hold of the right knee, taking the left leg down away from you, bending the right knee into the body, then taking out easy spinal twist. So taking the left hand over the right knee, taking the right arm out to the side of the body, and taking the right knee over to the left, coming into our final, deepest spinal twist, keeping the right shoulder on the mat, gazing over the right fingers, allowing the spine to completely release. Breathing slowly here. Inhaling, coming up to the center, squeezing the right knee in, taking the right knee first out long in front of you, then bending the left knee into the body, taking the left knee with the right hand, taking the left hand out to the side of the body, taking the left knee over the right, keeping the gaze over the left fingers. Allowing the spine to completely release. Keeping the left shoulder down on the mat. Maybe closing down the eyes here. Inhaling, coming back to the center. Squeezing the left knee into the body. Taking both legs out long in front of you. Taking any final movements you want to take here. You might want to squeeze the knees in. Once again, rolling out side to side. Maybe just finding stillness here. Taking the legs out long in front of you. Tucking the tailbone underneath. Rolling the shoulders down underneath the body. Allowing the hands to move out to the side. Allowing the fingers just to curl in towards the body. Coming into your Shavasana. So allowing the body to come into that deeper state of relaxation here. Allowing the body to completely melt away into the mat. If at this point you want to pause the video and come back to it later and stay here for longer, I invite you to do that. Otherwise, we'll just stay here for a couple of minutes. I want to actually read you something.
Okay, I've just found what I'd like to read you. It says, don't hurry. Don't worry and fuss about what you're going to do tomorrow or how tomorrow's answers will come. The way to get through a task, a day, a life is to stay in the present moment. Racing, pushing, trying to force things forward doesn't work. Not anymore. Hurrying will not speed up the process or the journey. In fact, if you race ahead of yourself, you may find you need to go back, return to the parts you skipped over, and go through it again, fully present. Yes, there are times we need to press on, times we need to push a bit more, but hurrying won't speed up the process. It will just keep us tense, out of step. To speed up the process, we need to fully immerse ourselves in the moment and then focus our energy, our presence, our emotions, our thoughts, and our heart. Stay in the present moment, listen to your heart right now. Be gentle and loving with yourself right now. Be open to the guidance around you right now, guidance that will make the present moment come alive. If you stay in your heart, stay with yourself, stay in the present, tomorrow's answers will come just as today's did, naturally, gently, and on time. So when you're ready, just gently wiggling the fingers, wiggling the toes, starting to bring a bit of life back into the body. And when you're ready, just gently rolling over onto your right side. Taking a moment here. And then in your own time, just gently easing yourself back up into a comfortable seated position. Keeping the eyes closed if that's comfortable for you. Taking a moment here, just recognizing how the body's feeling. When you're ready, taking the hands in front of the heart center, rubbing the hands together, generating some heat, taking the hands up over the eyes, feeling the darkness behind the hands, opening the eyes behind the hands, taking the hands back down to heart center. Namaste everybody, thank you. I'll see you all hopefully next week. As always, any comments, feedbacks, questions, do give me a shout. Thanks very much. Have a good week.